This is about the Don't Say Gay bill. We can have these conversations and be respectful. And I'm not just talking about Republicans. I actually or people on the right or people who agree with the bill, whatever side you're on. I want to challenge my friends on against the bill. I want to challenge them to do better. If you're against a bill, I need you to talk about what's in the bill. That too much to is that too much to ask? If you're against a bill, I need you to talk about what is in the bill. Like verbiage. Our discussion has to be grounded on truth, not emotion. And I know there's a quote here that says your identity is your most valuable possession. That's why this is sensitive. Those who disagree with this bill, whether they're in the LGBTQIA plus community or not, probably believe that. And when they say identity, it for damn sure isn't country. It for damn sure isn't whatever your beliefs are, whatever your religion is. It's for damn sure not that. It's this other stuff, which is kind of like a pseudo religion. But I don't want to go there because I don't want it to come across disrespectfully. The critical theory is a religion, but if you're being who you are, that's not what I'm calling a cult or a religion. So this is all about putting pressure now on Disney. That's what it's always been about. It's always been about control. So now they don't like the bill. People who are complaining about bill don't even know what's in the bill. They're not talking about what's in the bill. The bill's extremely short. When you hear somebody talking about it, you can tell within 2 seconds who's read the bill and who's not, or at least excerpts of it. Because it's so short, it's really easy to read. And you read it, it's like there's nothing. It's almost like a nothing burger. I mean, it's really nothing to the bill at all. But these are employees of Pixar, and they are writing because they're disappointed in Disney's reaction to the bill. Obviously, Orlando, Disney, that's a big deal in Florida. They said, we are writing because we are disappointed, hurt, afraid, and angry in regards to Disney's financial involvement with legislators behind the Don't Say Gay bill. And so they just named it whatever the hell they wanted to name it. I'm not against it. We have to have adult conversations. How did you come up with that name? What is that? I don't know why. Why are you labeling the bill that? Because that's not in the bill. It's not a part of the bill. So it makes me lose trust in you. We hoped that our company would show up for us, but it didn't. So it's a power structure. It's all it is. Is you didn't do what we wanted to, so we're going to go after you. So Bob Chapek, if hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I'm terrible with names. I didn't even know who he was until this here. I didn't even follow the CEO of Disney. Was criticized Monday for speaking out about not directly condemning this controversial bill. And so people thought it fell short. And then he said, I understand our original approach, no matter how well intended, didn't quite get the job done. And what he's saying there, in my opinion, is it didn't address those feelings of hurt. So wherever side you're on, there are people who do feel hurt and scared and afraid. I don't even want to talk about if it's right or not. That's what I've learned about being in a relationship, being married. If my wife is feeling some kind of way, you can't really look at it from like 2 + 2 is 4. Like I'm feeling like something's off. If she's feeling like something's off, you got to address those emotions. And that's part of the problem we're having. The people who are for the bill are like, read the bill, like me. Like, what's in the bill? What's the problem? The people on the other side are saying, well, I feel bad. So we're not addressing the I feel bad. I don't know how to do it. I mean, I don't know. But that's the problem that we're having. And so the CEO of Disney is just like, oh, I got an employee base that is kind of not revolting, but they're going against me. So I got to do something. Imagine if you owned a company and, whatever percentage of your base, because that's the power of this word ally. You notice they said Pixar and their allies. So they want to make sure it's not just the 10% or whatever. I'm just making up a number. It's the 10% plus allies, and that could make it 40%. So now you have a problem. It doesn't matter what you think. If you own a company and you have that, that's a problem you have to address. And I want to respectfully say the pattern that I'm seeing from those who are against this bill, and tell me if you're against this bill and you happen to see this video, tell me where I'm wrong. This is the impression I'm getting, is that you expect the government. That's why you're putting pressure on Disney. You're putting pressure on Disney to put pressure on the government. So to me, it sounds like you're expecting the government to end discrimination, or you're putting pressure on your perceived, really more to reach your goal of equity. And my response to that is, I think you need a higher, just for me, I can't tell you what you need. For me, I think faith in a higher power addresses that void. And it's not a personal thing. It's just a approach thing. And this is a clip from a video I did a while back, and it just kind of sums up where I'm at. I fell asleep and I was listening to a YouTube channel, and I woke up to a different one. It was Victor Davis Hanson.
Is now equity. It's not a quality of opportunity, it's a quality of result. Now, you and I are not born equally. I don't know, you might have better health or worse health. Your IQ is probably higher than mine.
Doubtful, but
I may be luckier than you may be luckier than I. But if the government says we're going to be equal, then it needs enormous powers of coercion to make you go down and me go up.
The eureka moment, that is the key part of this. I want to play that one more time. That's the part that really caught me from his statement here.
I may be luckier than you may be luckier than I. But if the government says we're going to be equal, then it needs enormous powers of coercion to make.
So he's talking about equality versus equity. And for those who believe, I'm just going to break up, I'm just making up an example. Hopefully this doesn't offend. But say you're doing like a beauty contest, Miss America or something like that. And you have someone who is just, by the standards of the country, not attractive. And then you have, not saying it's right or wrong, and then you have someone else who is attractive by the stereotypical standards of the country. Their view of equity means that in that contest, that both would have equal chance, even in a beauty contest. So it's not merit-based. Can you imagine? And their expectation is to have that done in all walks of life. So it would be like, you can't play basketball, but you should be able to be in the NBA. How does that happen? Like, how do you make that happen? The power to make that happen in their belief, I'm trying not to call it a religion, but in their ideology, is the government does it. That's what they believe. So this is critical theory of gender that we're talking about. This bill doesn't change anything about the critical theory of gender. All it says is that parents have to be involved. So it's a parental rights more bill. So that, I don't like the names on these bills, but that name is clearly more accurate than Don't Say Gay. So you divide people in two ways. You can do it on race, gender, intelligence, beauty, anything. Notice they don't look at these other people as oppressors. It's equity that they look at. So these people who are in this, they want equity. And the only people that can do that, the only people that they believe have the power to do that, is the government. It would take enormous government overreach to do it. And this bill goes against that. So this bill Giving more power to parents does not give more power to the government. They want more power with the government. That's the essence. That's the essence of the problem they have with this bill, is that gives parents some more control, power, transparency. A part of the bill is parents can sue and they can get their lawyer fees repaid if they're right, all that kind of stuff. It takes power away from government. Government is what's supposed to give them equity. Government is like God. So that's why it's personal. And then, they do all this, walking down the street and saying gay and being emotional and all that. So hopefully we can have these type of conversations in an adult manner, because we're not doing that right now. I'm going to end with this. I was looking for this tweet. Audra. Shout out to Audra. Follow her on Twitter. Very good follow. She said, somebody replied to her because she's more on the side of, I support the bill. And keep in mind with the bill, it can go both ways. These leftists only think one way in them having power. Imagine if you're in an area where someone you don't agree with leftists has power and they're trying to teach children to be straight, which is unacceptable as well, to me at least. This bill gives the parents rights to know what's going on as well. And there shouldn't be any inappropriate conversations, whether it's on any side, with K through third grade is all this is. So Audra supports that. Nessie says to Audra, I hope you never have queer kids, man. I would be so sorry for them. And they assume that you're some demon or monster. And Audra's like, if I have queer kids, I will love them no matter what. What do you think this was? I don't need some pervert teacher making it their mission to separate me from my kids and undermining my authority by telling them that I will hate them for being queer. That is pure evil, period. Not that all teachers would do that, but the bill would be empowering Audra to have that discussion with their children. I feel exactly same way as her. It's very likely, I don't want to say that, but it's very possible that your kids are going to be, my kids are in these indoctrination camps. I am fully prepared mentally that they would be at the very least allied into that leftist establishment point of view. I'm going to try to help them think critically. I'm not talking with them. If they want to get into that, that's fine. I just want them to play chess. I want them to be good chess players. And if they do end up to be leftist, establishment, queer, family is more important than all that. I couldn't care less. Let me know what you think. I would say it's a difficult conversation to navigate.